Okay. Everything is terrible. I guess we are stuck in 1080p. Okay, so what exactly is your problem then? Little nav map. Hey, stream's live. Can you hear me?
Hey.
I don't understand. Well, I figured out the audio issue because Windows 11 decided my stereo headset was surround sound, and it tried to apply some fancy effect. The fancy effect was making everything sound like.
I'm just turning on the stream right now. And muting myself because now I can hear myself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice helicopter.
It is, but it's in 1080p because the other reason, for some reason, my 4K Elgato is no longer letting me send it 4K content. It's just like Windows is just like, yep, 1080p is what we're sending this. And it's like, but why?
You ask the hard questions and they refuse to answer them.
Just, I don't know, just dumbness like that. This is what happens when you don't stream every week. Just weird things stops working. Um, that's okay. Fortunately, we have a ton of time and not a whole lot to do, so. I'm just stuck in 1080p, which is a real bummer. And it's really strange because my desktop is 4K, but Flight Simulator will not let me choose 4K as a resolution. It maxes out at 1080, probably because of the weirdness that's happening with the Elgato. So I don't know what's going on there. I bet you that if I restarted every computer in my house, it would be fine again. But I'm not doing that, so. However, I have this little map that I wanted to use, and it is not, for some reason, letting me connect to that stuff, which is weird. It's telling me I need to update to the latest version, but I just did that. Install the latest version of Little Nav Connect. Yeah, I have done that. But fair enough, I am not running the latest version, so why is that?
You're not running the latest version of Flight Simulator?
No. The latest version of this little tiny app called Little Nav Connect. I'm guessing I just have it in the wrong folder or something like that. Okay. If I don't trip and fall over my headphone cable, I should be able to get this going and we can take off in glorious 1080p.
Well, I mean, considering it's like
I'm streaming at
nothing
1080p.
soon-
You're not going to see any difference really on the stream.
Exactly.
I
You're
will
going to
suffer.
see a difference, but you know that we don't care about that. So.
No. Okay. Look at that. We've got a map.
Sorry, I had to tweet about Joe Rogan being a dumbass. So.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's Thursday. Oh, I have a network error watching the stream. There we go. I think it's because I went and claimed my Destiny 2 Prime Gaming stuff.
Oh, probably. Okay. I think. Let me just get my Track IR going. I also brought a glass of wine, so that makes all these technical problems a lot less difficult to work with.
Well, yeah, of course.
Or a lot easier to tolerate whatever.
That was trippy because I moved my mouse over the screen, and at the very second that I did, you moved your mouse and put your camera perspective to the sky, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What kind of interactive nonsense is this?
All right. I should show you the back of the helicopter. This is where you'll be sitting.
Oh no, I'm connected via iPhone. I'm not sitting in a helicopter with you until I see how the first one goes.
They're actually pretty easy to fly, but I do wonder why it's not.
I mean, these ones, but I don't know if that translates so well to real life. But
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. No one's going to let me fly their helicopter.
well, I'm not getting in with you. If
Fair,
pilots
fair.
won't let you fly their helicopter, why would I get in the back with you?
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
And equally, if you ever have the opportunity to get on a snowmobile with me, don't.
Okay, let's see. Unfortunately, I can't crane my head with Track IR quite the right way. Well, kind of. To start the battery. We'll get the battery going. We'll get the prime fuel pumps going. Standby battery on, and we'll put the avionics on as well. Position light, anti-collision lights. And we'll go fire up the left engine. Man, these textures are so damn fuzzy at 1080p. Especially on a 40-inch monitor. Fortunately, the outside is not going to be as big of a difference, really.
We are properly in Toronto here, huh? Okay.
Yep, we are Toronto City Airport. If I take us out of the chopper, there's the Toronto skyline right there. I put us on like this very isolated little spot here at the airport, all by ourselves, which I figured makes sense for like an RCMP chopper to probably not be taken off, right? Like as a passenger terminal.
Yeah, fair enough.
They don't have, because Flight Simulator doesn't have native support for helicopters yet, they don't have like helipads, in the cities. Otherwise, I'm sure there would have been like a RCMP or Toronto Police Department, whatever, some kind of place in the city to take off from. But eventually, they did say that helicopters are coming at some point. Okay. All we got to do is turn the prime pumps off. And there we go. No more errors on the screen.
Yeah. See, when I play Flight Simulator, I just turn it on. Go.
I am going to set a flight planning. We're not going to follow it, but it will help me figure out where we're going. So we're going to be flying roughly from Toronto City Center over to Buffalo, Niagara Falls. So it's going to give us like a nice straight line, which we're not going to follow really. We're going to fly our own thing. Because I don't want to just fly across Lake Ontario, because that seems rather boring. 50
Right.
miles of open lake.
You just want it to point you in the right direction when you get to close to where you're going to be.
Yeah. When I get lost, I just want to know where I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
Can I put this here and put that there? Nope. Where do I want? There we go. We'll get the instruments over there. We'll get the maps there. By the way, this thing is so this helicopter is made by a developer called Hype Performance Group. They have a freeware version of the slightly smaller helicopter, but it is pretty cool because you can open all the doors. In fact, you can jettison the doors, like just outright drop them, get rid of them. We can close the like privacy screen. This is the luxury version of the helicopter. They also have a civilian one, and they're working on a military one, I guess. But it's got an iPad on here that has quite a bunch of tools, which is pretty neat.
Ever been in a helicopter?
Me neither. I have flown this one a little bit. Actually, I flew it many, many months ago. Oh, where are these buttons not working? What's the matter here? Come on. There we go. Now we can actually set an altitude on the autopilot just in case. I'm just now realizing how spoiled I have been with the 4K resolution in the sim.
Well, even if it was like 1080p is, I understand there are lots of people who use 1080p, but yeah, the difference is you haven't even been just from, you didn't even go from 1080p to 4K. You went
Yeah.
from 1080p to 2K to 4K, so like you're talking about 2 steps backwards here.
Oh, I thought this thing had emergency floats.
We're going swimming.
Well, that was the plan, but I don't see them in here. I just installed air conditioning, just like that. All you do is click a button on an iPad. I don't think that's how it
Yeah,
works in
that's
real
how it
life.
works in my house too.
Wire strike protection. I mean, there is emergency floats, just says off. Alright, well, we'll see. Maybe that becomes available later. Maybe it's not in this version. Maybe I would have had to go to the dev version of the helicopter, but we'll see. For now, I think I should be able just to give it a little bit of power here, and we should be able to take off. At least get airborne. And I think I want to use the pedals. Yes, I do. Okay, yeah, we are airborne.
There's Toronto.
Uh-huh. And then we get a
One of
nice
my
view.
favorite things to do is to see a location in anything, in a video game, in a movie, or whatever, and I'm like, I've been there.
Yeah.
It drives Anne nuts.
So,
I can't remember. I think this island was human made.
I mean,
Toronto did this
yeah,
right.
it looks like it. It kind of juts out pretty.
It's pretty flat.
Yeah.
Um, I believe there's islands just off of Toronto that were made by people. So
Alt A crossing. Alt A crossing.
Okay, so I've turned on altitude hold at least, so it should keep us at 1,000 feet. Seems like a decent altitude to go sightseeing here.
I love that it's 1,000 feet, and you look at the CN Tower, and you're like, "Yep, not near the top of that yet."
How tall is it? We kind of needed Sean here for
I think
fact
it.
support.
Let me look up the tallest buildings.
I mean, you know,
Tallest structures.
judging by this, it is.
Let's see here. Yeah, it's not close.
That was a warning chime, and I don't know what it's for, so.
It is 553.3 meters high, 1,815.3 feet. CN Tower held the record for the world's tallest freestanding structure for 32 years until 2007 when it was surpassed by something I can't pronounce. And it was the world's tallest tower until 2009 when it was surpassed by the Canton Tower. It is now the 9th tallest freestanding structure in the world and remains the tallest freestanding structure on land in the Western Hemisphere. So,
Interesting.
in 1995, the CN Tower was declared one of the modern 7 wonders of the world by American Society of Civil Engineers. Yeah. I was away from the stream, but I see you got close to it.
I did. I'm just trying to wrap my head around.
You might actually be over top of where the Maple Leafs play right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it is down the street a short distance from the CN Tower. So, what are you trying to wrap your head around? I might actually know where you're going.
Not so much that. I'm trying to wrap my head around. There's different autopilot modes. I'm just trying to actually figure out how best to get back into a hover.
You confirmed that you're not going to back into a building because there are other tall structures around.
We're okay.
And you are just drifting.
We're okay.
Right now, so.
It's fine. I'm more trying to figure out the left and right yaw, basically. Thanks for the follow, Guthrie. Oh, yeah. I watched one brief YouTube video. It was in German, mind you. This release is also brand new. I think it came out like a couple days ago.
Right.
But it's not bad for just sightseeing. I'm also using like 3 different controls at the same time here. I could probably...
Actually, where the Leafs play would be kind of like at your 1 o'clock right now, I believe.
So it's to the...
I believe it's just in the like you're going to run into it if you keep going that way, essentially. So,
okay, so this is the Rogers Center, right? With a big white dome.
Center. And then it might be that building actually to the right, just at the bottom of the freeway there. It's ahead of you, like a little distance, where you can see the freeway. If you follow it along on the right-hand side there.
Oh, I do see... Wait, I see an Air Canada logo.
There, that's it. Yeah, it's between the buildings. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can swing to the right.
That's how close it is from the CN Tower to the Rogers Center where the Jays play to the Scotiabank Arena where the Leafs play.
Ah.
So you could walk between all of them within 10 minutes, no problem.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, it's not unlike Vancouver in that sense, where like their BC Place is literally right next to Rogers Arena. We don't have a baseball team, of course, but...
Nor should you.
Nah.
I don't know why I said that, but
I don't know.
It just doesn't feel like baseball.
Well, I mean, we have a baseball team. It's just not a Major League Baseball team.
I think that for sports that aren't inherently super popular in Canada, you have to put their teams in Toronto because you have to overwhelm the team with the population so that even a low percentage of people caring, you can still fill the arenas.
Right.
There you go, right there. The house that Austin Matthews built. Actually, it's been around since before he was born, so that's not true.
So there is a way to get this into like an auto hover, but I'm not in the right autopilot mode. I know that much. What I don't know is how to switch to the right autopilot mode. There's like 3 different autopilot modes, and you have to get this in the center. Like I can use this display at the bottom here and get the cross in the middle to basically hover, but there's a way to get it to like capture that and do it for me. But I'm not familiar enough with how that works. But yeah, okay, so there is a lot of tall buildings here at 1,000 feet.
That's what I'm saying.
This is not a safe altitude to fly at.
No. That being said, it is as long as you pay attention and don't drift backwards. So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Flight Simulator was not quite built for helicopters yet because things get a little wonky when you actually look at them.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're not really meant to be looked at from this.
They look like buildings in Daisy that have just been
And
obliterated.
now I will say, this building here, this looks like the Fairmount Royal York. I can actually read that.
Yeah,
And this is
it
an
is
RBC
fantastic.
bank. So I'm using like a third-party add-on for like a Greater Toronto Area enhancement pack that I'm sure some of this stuff is from. But yeah, they do have like limits on texture size, I'm sure,
Well,
because
I mean, if you tried to recreate Toronto completely accurately, like that would be a bigger undertaking than recreating any city in any video game ever in history because no one's ever done it
yeah.
accurately. At least, like there's always little landmarks here and there, so it's actually the fact that they pull these from a map and satellite, you know, gives them unparalleled accuracy in that way, at least. But
Okay, I'll climb a little
and
bit
if you just
higher
go
here.
that way, eventually you'll run into my house.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the way that I figured we would go along the essentially the west shore
Mm-hmm.
of Lake Ontario, because there's interesting looking things ahead there. So
I'm interested in what's interesting because I don't know what that would be. Canada, well, not Canada. Southwestern Ontario gets very boring very quickly when you leave Toronto.
Mhm.
Lots of farms, a couple small cities.
But this is quite a different experience to flying even general aviation airplanes. Because after, pretty quickly, you still don't really get to fly this slow very often. And certainly you cannot just hover there and check out your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay, I'll be right back. I have to check something. I'm gonna try to pause the simulator and see if it doesn't break on us here when I come back. I have to check another weird technicality. Be right back. I'm back.
Welcome back.
So, for some reason, we go to the garage and one of our cars, all the windows and the sunroof are open. And we're not sure why. They were not open when we left it?
I mean, if you have a vehicle with a whole bunch of technology in it, I would not be shocked.
Yeah.
Something could cause that because, I mean, putting myself in the position of someone who would break into a car, I wouldn't open all your windows, close your garage door, and leave.
No.
Stealing your car.
Yeah, no, it's definitely
major.
not that. I have a camera in the garage too. It feels like I'm gonna have to Google it and look it up. To me, my initial thought was like, oh, maybe if for some reason the car thought you were gonna get stuck in there, it just opened everything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, could it possibly be like a carbon monoxide detector in the car that, like, if you close the garage door and then turn the car off, or if you were warming the car up, that it detected like a certain level of carbon monoxide and was like, I'm opening the windows?
I mean,
It'd be a cool feature. I don't know if it exists, but
so I mean, the fact that Google automatically suggests Honda Civic windows opening by themselves is never a
let me
good
guess, it's a
thing.
Honda Civic.
Well, yeah, it is.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's a thing.
There was a feature where you can use the fob to make all the I bet you she pressed something on the key fob.
Last maybe like 2 nights ago. No, this would have been Monday. Not Monday. It would have been Sunday night, which I guess was like almost a week ago now. Jeez, time's flying. So I got my third shot on Sunday. Sunday night, I started feeling, well, I mean, all day Sunday, I started feeling not great, and then it just got worse and worse. And by the time I went to bed Sunday, I was like shaking uncontrollably with the shivers.
Mm-hmm.
Went to bed, stopped shaking, but wasn't feeling great. Got to sleep for like maybe 15 minutes, like just enough to like where my brain is like, oh, we're sleeping now.
Yeah.
And then heard a bang. And of course, got up. And I can't just like, if you have a weird noise and you own your house, we don't have a vehicle, so we didn't have a vehicle in the driveway, so we're very, aware, hey, that could be taken as they're never home, let's break into this place kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear a noise, I want to find its origin. So we heard like a bang, and it was definitely not in the house. It was definitely outside the house. So I'm looking around, and I get up, and I turn the lights on in the backyard. I turn the lights on in the front, and I'm looking around. I see nothing, and then I turn the lights on the side, and I see the garbage can just like smashed up against the fence. And I'm like, oh yeah, of course. So, but yeah, it's
Was it
phantom noises or
the wind
phantom
or?
problems. Sorry? Yeah, it was the wind. Which I should have known because I knew it was windy, but even if I'd known, I still would have to go look, I
Yeah.
don't ever
No, that's fair.
make an assumption, ever.
Nope. Because the one time you assume it's nothing, it's a raccoon eating all your food in the kitchen or something like that.
Well, the last time
Or
it was
worse.
a raccoon.
Yeah.
But it was the same thing. It was outside in the garbage. So you have bears, we have raccoons. So, and when I opened the door, the raccoon had gotten in the garbage, but had positioned itself in a way that it couldn't easily get back out of the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
And I did everything I could to surprise it. So when I flung the door open and went, Wah! I haven't seen it since, and that was like over a year ago, like a year and a half ago. But it basically fell over backwards out of the garbage, knocking the garbage over, and like let a little screech out and ran up the fence and ran away. So I was like, well, I think I've deterred that behavior.
Yeah. So, do you guys currently have snow on the ground where you are?
Maybe. I don't know. Let me look. Don't look outside a lot. Not gonna lie.
I mean, according to this weather here, there's at the moment, this is supposed to be live weather. Clouds indicate that it is live weather, just no snow.
Yeah, I got
But
snow.
okay. I don't know if they don't get it right all the time, but I did install a new add-on from a company called Rex. That's called Accu Season. It actually turns, if you're looking, all you see all the trees are kind of like brownish, because they actually they changed the foliage and stuff like that depending on the season. Whereas otherwise in Microsoft Flight Simulator, it's either always all green, 100% green, or snow.
Well, in fairness, it may be like I don't know how it works in terms of regions and whatnot, but like Toronto to London's not that close. So like it's close in terms of like global
Yeah.
distance, but like you're driving for 3 hours basically at a reasonable pace to get there.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure that they'll have different weather than you. I have no idea what city this is. I could probably see it on the map if I. It's
I mean,
still
it's
part of
Toronto,
GTA,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know all the little tiny things around Toronto either. So that's the thing about not being from Toronto is like I know it's a big thing like on a grand scale, like on a national scale. People in Vancouver are like, shut up, we don't want to hear about Toronto. But people like an hour outside of Toronto are the same way. Like, we pay
Yeah.
zero attention to Toronto unless we have to go buy something there, and then we zip in, complain about driving and parking, and zip back out.
This helicopter is great for sightseeing, though. There's nothing quite like it. Really good. And it would look a million times better if for some. I'll have to figure out what's going on with this. I don't know, man. That Elgato 4K 60 capture card. It is good, but the software is just not good at all. The software behind it is awful. And I don't know what it is. It was working fine. Now I did upgrade that computer to Windows 11, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's some wonkiness going on. But my sending, so the gaming computer insists it can only send 1080p to that card, and the card, of course, is saying it's like, well, you're only sending us 1080p. But the only thing that's changed as far as setup is that computer. So I'm guessing something weird going on there.
I'd say it's a big change.
It's probably just a reboot, though. Like something probably just needed to be restarted. I just wasn't really in a position to do that. Oh, look, there's a golf course and some of Microsoft's famous screwed up terrain. Because I don't think that river is 100 feet above the golf course. The river that snakes through here.
I have slept through that part of the drive into Toronto every day. Like right there. Like is that
It's a highway.
the river or the road? Right
This is the road here. This is not good in the winter. It's quite steep.
Again, I've been on that road, and I can assure you well, no, let's say I'm 88% sure that is not accurate.
Yeah.
There's a 12% chance that the 40, 50 times that I've gone over that spot, I've been asleep. So
I feel like that probably would have woken you even if you were asleep.
maybe. I don't know. I'm a heavy sleeper.
See if I can figure out.
But
Okay, so I can zoom out a bit.
you look like you're losing altitude at a really.
I am. I'm not quite sure why. I still have the.
I was just making sure you were aware because for a few seconds there, it was not great.
I have the altitude autopilot still on. If I turn it off, now I have full control of the collective again. But I'm just not sure. I feel like the first time around it was working better. I don't know. I'll have to spend some more time with the autopilot because it's not just as straightforward as an airplane. There are different autopilot modes and things like that involved here, but just going to assume all the red on the map means it's low terrain, or I'm too, it's dangerous terrain below some certain threshold.
Maybe.
So let's see. I've set it to 1,000 again. Let's see if it's going to keep up with it this time if I tilt down a bit more. It might just not be able to do it, to be honest, because I might be telling it that I want to go too fast, and it just can't keep. Like there's just you can't give it more power
Right.
to maintain that altitude. So that might be why. It doesn't really matter. I actually like hand flying this thing because it's for a simulator that doesn't natively support helicopter controls. They've done a really good job. It feels quite smooth, even if I don't make it look like that at times. But
Toronto makes me tired.
most big cities make people tired, I think.
It's like whenever I'm leaving Toronto, even right now, like looking at the map and seeing that you're leaving Toronto, I'm just like, whew, glad that's over. Like, you know what I mean? It's so busy. I'm not like I live in. I mean, they call my city the Forest City,
Mm-hmm.
and you can kind of see an example of that just looking around right now from the helicopter. Like, you know, that's kind of what it's like. It's a city within a forest.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I love that, you know, like my city is kind of like a small town, but I can get pizza at 5 a.m. if I really want it. So,
Right, that's important.
right, yeah, absolutely. You know, I get Amazon not the same day, but I get it next day or day after the next day, but it's before Friday, so it's reasonable. And but man, in Toronto, and I know people that love living in big busy cities, and you know, all the power to them. But boy, it's not for me, man. Not
Yeah.
for me at all.
It's been different during the pandemic and working from home. Like I live in a, you know, one of the biggest cities in BC, the second biggest one, next to like Vancouver proper. But I don't really leave the house very much. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
except for on weekends and stuff like that to go to a park. So we do have quite a bit of that here too, which is nice. So,
My beef with Toronto is that you don't really get the opportunity to leave a house because you
yeah.
can't get into a house because a garage is $1 million. So, and because of the size, like I think even Vancouver is a little more accessible than Toronto is probably in terms of the pace of life.
I would think so.
Toronto's
Toronto's
speed
still,
on its own.
yeah.
And there's a few other cities in the world, and I mean that. Like Toronto is one of the biggest, busiest cities. Not, I don't know where it ranks, but I mean, I would be surprised if it's outside of the top 25. So, but yeah, it's just that pace wears me out. If I'm there for a day or an hour or a week, it's like when I'm leaving it, I notice when life seems to return to normal speed.
Mm-hmm. I think
That makes
that's
sense?
yeah, I think that's pretty common, especially if you're not, you know, people get used to it when they live there in big cities. Even like I had my parents visit over the holidays for 2 weeks, and they come from a very small town at this point, and even going to this like medium-sized place where we didn't really go in like normal traffic for in my eyes was like, oh my God, it's so busy, I can't believe it. Um, it's you know. You totally get. I think people who will probably live in Toronto all the time and work, it's just really you get used to it, but it's a very different type of lifestyle.
Yeah, I have friends that are complete opposites. Like they come back, like they're from London. They come back to London, and they're just like, "This is so boring. There's nothing to do." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"What are you talking about? This is like breakneck life here." Like, you know, I like the options, but spaced out. So Toronto obviously doesn't have that option. Somebody's here.
just okay. So this is the other autopilot stuff that I was looking for. All right.
What's up? Sorry, sup.
Hello, MOBA. funny. Some of
Talking about the
those.
city life. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So I do like that on this display here, it's actually telling me 2 Buffalo, 128-degree heading, 52 nautical miles, so 29 minutes at current speed. So that's kind of giving me some idea as to when I can kind of shortcut it. But we've got like 50 minutes left in the stream, and I'm kind of...
You haven't even complained about Destiny yet. What are you gonna do?
I know. Well, we're gonna continue following the shore here of Lake Ontario, whatever this highway is.
Could be 401 or 407, honestly. I don't know.
And then we'll head sort of south or pretty much east from here. I'll check out Niagara
Almost into
Falls.
Hamilton.
Right. So Niagara Falls, I also downloaded a scenery add-on for from the same person who made the Greater Toronto Enhancement Pack. So we'll see what that looks like. There's even somebody who made animation for the waterfalls, but I thought that might be a step too far and blow up the game.
Fair.
I didn't want to take that chance. Scenery add-ons are still the most likely cause of crashes. And neither of them were like officially classified as being compatible with the latest version of the simulator, so it's kind of like take your own chance. This seems to be working fine, but I was like, okay, well, let's not push our luck here.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
I am liking this kind of weather, the cloudy, not too boring, even though I do wish that there was a bit more snow on the ground.
Yeah, but that's coming from someone who, as you mentioned the other day, doesn't get it for 4 months. So
I completed my little tour for my virtual airline. It was a toy run, a Santa's toy run. It basically took me from a very small city in the Yukon all the way through Canada, ending in Halifax. Well, with the idea being that you start at the North Pole, basically, and then fly presents all throughout the country kind of idea. Yeah, so it was 20 legs, 20 flights to all the, most of the major cities, some smaller ones, and it was pretty cool because, Moncton in New Brunswick and Halifax and stuff were covered in snow, and it's
you know
pretty
what we
neat.
have to do sometime?
What's that?
I have to make you fly out to the island I didn't buy.
Oh yeah, we'll take a helicopter for that because that seems like we can land on it. At least you can say that you've been there virtually.
You're gonna hear a grown man cry on stream.
When you mentioned that earlier about that island, I remembered you saying that, and I was like, I wonder if I can buy like a small plot of land somewhere in the middle of nowhere, and
Yeah.
just if things go really bad, I'll know where to go.
I mean, Anne obviously answered this question when I asked her. I said, well, what could happen to land? She goes, well, a flood. And I'm like, okay, yes, but like, there's certain lands that are susceptible to that, and others that.
I assume this was an island in a lake, right? Not a.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not buying an island in the ocean.
Not in the, no. So, see, my thinking is that, whatever you buy, like, I used my house as an example. It's like 36 or 37 or 38 years old or something like that. And there's going to come a day when this house is worthless, and that may be a long time away because, values are going to go up. So even when it's a rickety shack, it might still be extremely valuable given, how prices increase for things over time. But eventually it's going to be falling apart, like literally falling apart, and it'll have to be torn down, and that could be 100 years or it could be 200 years or whatever.
Sure.
And it will not have its value at that point. The land will, but that was my point. You buy land, like, it's not as if like suddenly they're going to make a bunch more of it and your land is not going to be worth as much. Like,
yeah,
they're not making more of it, but they are making more stuff to put on it. So even if you did nothing with that island, you just owned it. You could just own it until you didn't want to, and you could sell it and you would make money. Or you could just own it. Or you could build on it. But yeah, I am very
pretty cool here.
Those look like the Salt Hills.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely some industry here.
That would be like where they fill trucks up so they can salt the roads, most likely. It's possible. I might be very wrong with that.
This looks quite industrial. There's lots of smokestacks. It looks like there's probably a bunch of train tracks coming out of this. There's a Canadian flag. I was just going to ask if we're still in Canada or not based on the map, but yes, we are. Because we are now technically heading down to the southern shore of Lake Ontario.
Right.
It's amazing to me just how detailed it is, considering it is a flight simulator. It's like, yes, the structures look, they're pretty low poly and stuff like that, but the fact that you can see like train cars and parked cars and that these hills have any kind of three-dimensionality to them at all, other than just being, a flat image, is pretty sweet. So the one thing people do with these helicopters, by the way, there's actually a whole bunch of missions and scenarios that you can install or download of like emergency scenarios, because most of these helicopters are, I mean, not unlike this RCMP version that I painted. They're emergency helicopters, both for paramedics or even just there's a lot of European like car service type places that would be like, I don't even know what it is, and I guess there's CAA across Canada, right? But like that kind of a thing. This looks like a giant baseball down here for some reason. I'm not sure what that's about. It's a giant globe.
It's just a giant baseball.
That's cool. There's.
It's probably not meant to be that, but
no. What city? What is this from? Based on the? Can you make that out on the map?
You are still basically in Hamilton.
Okay.
Maybe the outskirts of Hamilton.
Okay. So yeah, this is.
There, I have no idea when you cross the border because anyone who goes to Hamilton pays little attention. Because this is Hamilton, like this industrial nonsense.
Yeah, Hamilton's quite large. I mean, this is High Cats, right? Like it feels industrial.
Yeah, it's really it is. It's just industry.
Yeah.
And the people who work in industry, and then that's it. And then the people who drive through Hamilton to get to where they're going.
Yeah.
So I've worked. It's actually cool. If I look at your map, I have worked in Cambridge. I've worked in Hamilton. I've worked in Kitchener. Worked in all those places. I'm a traveling man.
I love that I can just follow these highways. Basically, I mean, I could navigate myself based on not charts, but not navigational charts, but literally just Google Maps and just follow some highways around here.
Yeah, you good?
I think we figured out the mystery of the doors opening in the car. Apparently, on the key fob, if you press the unlock button and then press and hold it again a second time, it will just open all the windows in the sunroof. For whatever reason that you might want that, that's apparently a feature. And it must have happened like in her purse or something, like in the bag or whatever. She was freaked out. She's like, what she was going to go to Costco, and I think she's like, well, I'll do it another day. When the car doesn't seem quite as possessed. There's a freaking marina down here. You go from industrial stuff to people in their own private marina. Nice.
14 rich people in Hamilton right there.
Yeah, they all live here.
Yeah. No, I don't think you live near your marina. That would be, you don't go to the bathroom where you at.
Oh, fair enough. This is just all the people who clean your boat that live there.
Yeah, you got to go like 3 streets to the right.
That's just...
There's probably a hill somewhere in Hamilton, and that's where they live.
Yeah, one hill.
One hill. It was like, man, Southwestern Ontario is flat. Like.
Yeah. What's Lake Ontario like? Is it like super polluted, or do people actually go like swimming in it in some places, or?
I have never put my body in it, so.
Just haven't had the opportunity, or would you never do it because it's so bad?
Both.
Okay.
No, I mean it's probably fine. I think it depends.
Yeah.
I don't think you find large bodies of water with high populations anywhere anymore where there's not like some kind of pollution problem. But
true.
Yeah, this part of the world, like southwestern Ontario, and like even in the states that are around Great Lakes and whatnot, are very very lucky because that is a massive supply of fresh water.
Mm,
The climate is good enough for farming, but also not like super dry or anything like that. So
yeah,
like it's kind of like the perfect storm of where to live. Um, Obviously, with technology, you can live wherever you want, and stuff just gets brought to you. But
yeah. But
yeah,
there's
the
generally a
farmland and the
reason
fresh
for
water.
millions of people to settle in the same place over time.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just that's like I find it strange when I go to places that have like a lot of bottled like when you go to get water or drink water, it's all bottled water. Um, because that's just not a thing around here
Because
at
it's
all.
clean, like your tap water is drinkable.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I drink tap water, and again, I have no idea if this is even common. Maybe it's extremely common, but like I can drink tap water or we have the machine that you hook the big jug up to,
Right.
um, and it doesn't matter to me either way. Like
Yeah. I
I
think in
don't really
most
notice it.
areas in Canada, we're pretty lucky as far as clean water supplies.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first things that anybody told me when I went to Los Angeles to visit for E3 a few years back was like, just don't drink the tap water.
Yeah, and again, I don't know if that's true because you never know. Like, but it seems more true in Los Angeles, I guess. So.
Well, in general, I think if you're going on vacation or somewhere, you probably want to stay away from the tap water just in case. You just don't know.
And there's also another side of that and I have this problem with food, not to be gross, but like if I eat food from a different part of the world, and I don't mean a different culture. I mean literally travel distance and eat food.
Hmm.
It just sits differently with me. And I mean like I made the mistake of having like um, airport food in Los Angeles and then getting on a plane to come back to Toronto, and it was it's top three regret in my life. So. It's
Yeah.
just like, well, that was a terrible idea. I should have just starved. So I think that just speaks to our stomachs, right? Like you just get used to things. So
Yeah.
water's obviously going to have like different, at least slightly different chemical makeup.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, generally, that's pretty common for people to have some stomach issues when they go traveling, no matter where they go, just because it's different. So, we have to keep an eye out for where Niagara Falls actually is. It's fittingly getting now rainy and foggy, so that's good. So that's going to limit our visibility a bunch, which is
There, it's in
excellent.
front of you. It's at your 1 o'clock.
Okay, so we are sort of still heading in the right direction then.
You're heading in the right way. So like I think if you actually just stay on the road that you're on, and then
That's kind of what I'm figuring.
the road that you're on is eventually going to split in a Y, and you're going to kind of just not follow either one and go straight. So.
Gotcha. I know how to get to the airport because I've got that on the nav display here. So
Yeah, you're not. I don't think you're in the U.S. yet.
no, because I mean the Niagara Falls is really the border, right? Like the actual falls, at least in that area.
Yeah.
So I do quite like flying this helicopter. I'll be flying this a lot more. And for next week, whatever we do there, I'll have somehow figured out how to get us back into 4K.
Yeah, but we're playing a different game.
True, but
Unintentional.
actually in that case, it won't be 4K. It will be like 2K ultra wide or something like that.
I don't. I honestly can't remember the embargo info, so we won't even talk about which game it
No,
is.
no. But the next time I fly, I will try to because my old man eyes are starting. Like I keep constantly thinking like, what's going on? Did I just lose my
Actually,
sight?
to be fair, it wouldn't be any embargo info because the game just releases on the 20th. So
Yeah,
we can just sit and we know the release date, so that's not under.
this is true.
So we'll be playing Rainbow Six Extraction.
Do we know who we need the third, right?
We do. I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of people around Shacknews, so we'll
Yeah.
see if anyone's in particular wants to hop in. And if nobody wants to hop in, then we'll drag Dusty with us.
Okay. Oh, we're not going by
I
this
think even Blake
body of
mentioned
water.
he wants
This
to
is
join
type.
us.
Okay. We'll get somebody that doesn't mind being eaten by aliens or whatever it is that they do. Because I have a feeling that's
Oh,
going to
yeah,
happen a lot. Yeah.
That's cool. Is that a real thing right there, or is that a graphical glitch on the left?
This? No, that's a marina. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's cool.
I do like, too, that there is some traffic on these highways. Obviously not as much as there would be in real life, but it does make it feel a little bit more live just to see some small things moving on the ground there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we got lots of fuel. All right, good. That's one thing I hadn't really looked at all. I just left whatever the default fuel levels were. I was like, that's got to be enough. We're not going on too long of a flight, but
Chat room continuously welcomes me to it.
what does?
The Twitch chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's welcomed me 5 times, 6 times, 7. Yep, 7.
Interesting.
For whatever reason, for a while, my brain was like, "Well, that's new people coming into the room." No, it's not. It's literally telling me repeatedly, "Welcome to the chat room."
It's like, hello, Rumpo. Hi, Rumpo. Hello.
Yeah, it's probably all the different departments in Twitch.
Yeah.
HR saying hello. And never good when HR says hello. Somebody wants to hear from them.
Oh, we got an actual like highway intersection over here, and we got a nice bridge ahead of us there. That looks like that bridge is actually modeled in, and the visibility has gone to absolute garbage. But okay, so my assumption here is that maybe this part of the river, if we follow that, will take us to the falls. No, I think it's still too early.
Oh, no. It's too small.
Yeah, but it will come up eventually, though. I mean, at some point we'll just follow some water.
Yeah, it's giant.
Yeah, I see it on the little nav map, which, by the way, is a great freeware tool for navigation and flight planning and stuff like that. I use Navigraph for all my flights, but it's not free. It's a small monthly fee, but little nav map, absolutely free and really, really good. And I use it for this because it's actually pretty good at like flight tracking, more so than Navigraph for small, like lower, closer to the ground detail levels. Oh, there's a Walmart in here for sure.
Yeah.
We're flying quite fast, actually, now. Jeez. What's our ground speed here? 130, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. We only got a half hour anyways.
Yeah, no, we're booking it. I will have to look into the pontoons and revisit that at some point. I'm not quite sure why they are. I'm guessing that I just don't have the like beta version. Maybe that's only in the beta version. It's even possible that it's only on the civilian version, not the luxury version. I'm not sure.
This is your Y, but it's not really a Y. It kind of looked like one on the map, but it's only like the left side of it's a Y. You're literally blocking your view of what I'm talking about.
No, I saw what you meant. I'm just gonna keep following this highway.
River.
This is the river?
No, it's not. I lied. This is another river.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of glancing over at little nav map, and I can see a big river, probably like another 5 miles ahead of us or so.
Yeah, as soon as I looked at the river,
I can even see it on this map here. I think it's this.
down there on the highway, by the way. So.
Should we have stopped for that? We are the police. I don't know.
No, we didn't see it.
So on this map here in the helicopter, I believe this is the river we want to follow. This,
Yeah. I mean, I can see it basically on this screen now, like on your. If I look outside the window now, like I can kind of see where it's going to be. So. This is the thing that looked like a Y, though. It looks like, right, but it's not.
Yeah.
When you get actually closer, they're not the same road, but you can see that one branch is to the right, branch to the left. So a lot of Walmarts around here.
Yep.
What is that on the right? Oh, it's just water and trees. It looked a little suspicious for a second.
It is like, I get very much like Florida Everglades vibes with all this fog here. I'm going to follow this route here because I do want to get to the river. Terrain pull up. Okay, well, we're not that low. We're in a helicopter. It's okay. Some power lines, though. Those are probably problematic for helicopters.
Mm-hmm.
So we're only about 460 feet above the ground, so that's why it's just keeping us honest here that we're not getting too low. So there's
Interesting
a...
how video games have trained us to have very, very, very unrealistic ideas of what things are like, because you're playing a flight simulator and you're like, oh, we're low, and I'm like, man, we got like 100 feet to play with.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, well, not for real. So this is your river.
Well, this is a lake. Looks like the river is just behind it.
Yes.
So we're going to cross... At least that's what it looks like on here. Looks like there's a small...
I think you're at the point where you need to hang a right, or you're gonna... Because you gotta go a ways up this river to get to Niagara Falls, I think.
We got 15 minutes to Buffalo if we go straight on course.
There's a real opportunity that we don't find the falls, too.
It is a bit foggy. I mean, I can change that, but I'm sure we'll find them.
I'm less confident than you. I don't mean because of the fog. I mean, we will literally just not pass near them. So, I don't actually know where they are. You never go there from the sky. You're always in...
Well, that's true. But I feel fairly strongly that...
Yeah, it's gotta be.
I mean, we know it's water, right? So it's... And it looks like this river kind of splits, but it reunites again. So I think that if we just follow that, should be all right. This river is quite deep, or the land around it rather is quite high. I did turn off all like damage, ground damage, because more often than not things go boom and it's not my fault. It's just some weird stuff on the ground. Look at this bridge. There's actually like this is a fairly detailed looking bridge.
Yeah.
With vehicles driving about 50 feet below it, but you know, still, an effort was made.
I mean, I see vehicles leaving trails in the water.
Yeah. Oh, there's a big city on our right.
Not Buffalo.
No, not Buffalo yet. That's what you tell the cops. It's not my fault. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's... I don't know how well it works with cops. It works fine with flight simulators.
This might actually be...
Well, here it is. We're right here.
Nice.
The falls are right in front of us.
Yeah. Because this is actually, like, when you go to Niagara Falls, like, this is where you would stay. Like, I've stayed in the hotel on the right side of the thing here. So, yeah.
And there's
As
a big
soon as I saw
like
that little
view
tower, I
tower.
was like, wait a minute. I know that.
What is that thing in the water?
Don't ask questions. It's a coin.
But this is not usually a thing. It does seem like a coin, like a collectible.
Go down there and look. Closer.
Whoa, we're getting a bit too close here.
Nah, you got lots of room. At least 20 feet.
100. That's interesting. That's got to be part of the scenery pack. I don't know what that's about. Chopper is getting pretty difficult to control at this point for some reason. Don't know why. I think it's it's the ground effect. I think at a certain point there's ground effect and it basically just sucks you into the ground to make landing easier or whatever. But all right, so here we get a view of the falls. Geometrically, it seems to make sense.
Crazy people that go over the falls in barrels.
I did not realize the US side was the tall side, though.
Well, I mean, I didn't realize that either, and I've been there. This, you know how little attention I pay to things.
Yeah, you definitely get some like magnet type of effect when you get low enough to the ground. Looks pretty cool. It does have a typical Microsoft problem though, where there's like a giant tree trying to grow out of the falls because they put way too many trees in places for some reason.
Yeah, this is a reminder. Like, I don't think have you ever been?
No, I've never been actually, no.
It's kind of cool seeing it in the game because like it's almost like my brain is putting it together based on the game, but also having been there. Like, it's loud. Like, that's a lot of noise. That much water going over, crashing over a fall. Yeah, that's a lot of noise. So it's very, very loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't really get the same sense of scope from up here. Like, it just looks like kind of small, you know, like a backyard. It's giant. So
Pretty cool views though. I do like it.
yeah, it's a very cool place to visit, honestly, at the falls. They have a pretty cool little downtown and lots of little shops and stuff like that that you can walk around. And I think there's a Ferris wheel somewhere. I don't know if that's actually shown in the game here, but I think on the shore by the falls there's a Ferris wheel somewhere. So.
Let's I think we can probably do one more swing over here. And then we'll find our way down to the Buffalo Niagara International Airport. I do want to go see one of these days. Like Niagara Falls is just one of those places, especially, you know, it's in Canada. It feels like something I should do.
Told you, I'll meet you in Toronto.
Yeah, we'll rent a helicopter. We'll fly over. What could happen?
No, we won't.
There's some kind of this must be some sort of view platform here on the right. That's got to be a thing. Look out.
I'm looking for the Ferris wheel.
I mean,
No, it would be. I don't know. I don't even know where. It's been so long since I've been there.
there's like a pyramid over here somewhere in the middle of this. Some big
Yeah, there's the
hotels.
Ferris wheel right in front of us. Directly.
Oh
in
yeah,
front
I
of us.
see it. Okay, it's yeah, it's a little bit at an angle to us, which made it more difficult to spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the
That hotel. So
Sheraton. No,
there's hotels there.
yeah, Sheraton.
Go like a couple buildings to the right. There's one that's like a candy stripe roof.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I stayed at.
Oh, cool. Fly
The
right by
building
the.
above the candy stripe roof thing.
There's the
There's
Ferris wheel.
and there's
This
that-
is some sort of
the
dinosaur
streets
park.
I guess the street to the right of the Ferris wheel just runs.
There is a
shops and everything.
pyramid over here. That's a little bit akin to.
Casinos.
Yeah.
Not like proper Las Vegas casinos, but
Well, no. Yeah. Cool. Well,
I
that's
don't know what's going on with that building on the left. I feel like it's not fully there.
that tower. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those that's, at proper airplane altitude, it's not going to be an issue. But it's funny because some of them are quite quite detailed. Like this one's got, you can see like the awnings at the bottom and stuff like that, whereas other ones are just missing, half the facade.
Yeah.
All right. This is the keg, Embassy Suites. Tower Hotel. There's a Marriott.
See, what I mean is that because Niagara Falls is so weird, and there are weird buildings that you genuinely sometimes can't tell, is this a graphical glitch from Simulator, or is this actually a building that
Right.
exists?
Yeah.
Like, the one we just passed, I'm like, I don't know, I'm 50-50. That might be a real thing.
Okay, so we're gonna try now to see if we can make our way over to the Buffalo Airport. We got? Yeah, 18 minutes. It says it's going to take us about 15, so that's perfect. And I actually didn't mind this weather. It looks a little bit less boring than just clear skies. Looks probably much more realistic anyway. You get kind of like a rainy weather at Niagara Falls. Everybody that I know that has visited has always, every time they've been there, it was pouring rain for some reason.
Buffalo?
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had to look away from it. Are you saying it was raining in Buffalo?
No, Niagara Falls.
It rains a lot.
Yeah.
Not like BC a lot, but
Still think that Microsoft Flight Simulator has amazing eye candy. Like even just the weather, the clouds, the reflections of the instruments on the windshield and stuff like that. It's
yeah, I was thinking you could actually. There are instances where if a person wasn't paying very close attention, they would not know that this isn't like a real.
yeah. Or you get that quite a bit on YouTube videos. I even when Flight Simulator first came out, I put a couple of images on Instagram of like from like outside of the airplane on a wing, and I actually had one or two comments of people saying, asking me how I managed to get a camera outside the airplane. It's like, it's because it's not real.
What is that? Middle of the lake.
Looks like a power pole on a small island.
The next one.
Yeah, on a
It's the
smaller
same thing,
island.
it's
Yeah,
just-
you just can see the island there on this one. This has got to be the like a border bridge, right, between the U.S. and Canada. I feel like I've seen that in movies before.
Again, like I don't pay attention. Anytime I cross the border, I'm like, I hope they don't find all my stash stuff.
Right.
That's
Huh.
not true. That only happened one time.
I think I can get it to keep a speed too. Oh well, we're almost there. I'll do some more research and educate myself more on the various autopilot modes. But it's kind of fun flying this by hand.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Especially because you're really not flying, super long. If I had to do this for a couple hours, I'd probably defer to the autopilot, but
I mean, this was an hour and a half anyway, so
yeah.
it's half a baseball game.
That's true. Now, the only thing that an autopilot would do better is maintain a more even speed than I am. But there's no real passengers, so nobody should complain. We're losing altitude, though, rapidly.
I think it's probably lost on the average person just how absolutely alert and aware you have to be at all times while flying something.
Yeah.
Like especially when you're talking like somebody who might be doing a tour, for example. Like
Mm-hmm.
anything in this altitude or even slightly higher than this or in populated areas. You think about it, like you can go driving, you drive to work and back from work every day for a week, and at some point somebody almost sideswiped you.
Yeah.
And you honked at them, right? Like that happens here. That's it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of
those.
almosts in helicopters or aviation.
There's none of them. Like you can't graze anything ever. Like so it's just I think it's and it obviously like the amount of time that pilots put into training and getting time into aircraft to learn them and to get I guess there's probably a certification. I don't know if it's aircraft by aircraft, but
There is, yeah. You have to be type rated.
Yeah. So yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like yeah, it's just crazy.
And I've
amount.
heard from, and helicopters are like a whole other beast. Like I've heard from lots of real life pilots who hold general aviation licenses of certain types, or even airliner pilots who are like, helicopters? Oh, I wouldn't touch that with a stick. This stuff is so different, and like it's a whole
Yeah.
different kind of thing altogether, because the physics are
And
totally different.
if you're in an airplane at 12,000, 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 feet, you got ideally you have some time to figure it out.
Yep.
If your helicopter for whatever reason gets turned on its side, that's probably that.
Probably.
Like they don't look like the easiest thing in the world to get back upright when it's like sideways or upside down.
Nope.
But I just have a tremendous amount of respect for what it would take. Like
Yeah.
that's where my even the flight simulator, like just watching you, and like no offense, if you were a real pilot, I would classify your current skills as not great because like you haven't done it for 20,000 hours and had the real training. That's in terms of like your skill in the simulator, probably amazing, but I don't even have the attention span to
get to your level, and that's why I bounced off a flight simulator and I enjoy it through you.
Right.
Because I can enjoy it through you with zero commitment from myself. They even have the yard lines painted on that football field down there.
Oh, really? That's cool. Yeah, yeah.
I saw.
I mean, there's
the
parking
video.
lot lines. Like some of the some of the satellite footage is pretty good.
Yeah, it is good.
Especially in, like, I mean, this is Buffalo, so anywhere pretty much North America, pretty good quality
Yeah, true.
stuff.
But yeah, I bounced off this game. Part of it was because I never felt like I was like I hit this spot where I was like, I want to play this a certain way. I also don't want to work as hard as I need to work to get there, so I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah.
And you found joy in figuring it out and configuring it and fine tuning it, and your journey through Flight Simulator has been non-stop. Like, I don't feel like you have reached peak setup for your standards yet. Like, you're still always thinking of a way that it can be a little bit more realistic, or a cool little feature or something.
If stock issues were not, if it wasn't for the pandemic, it's hard to get some hardware, and not just video cards, but also sim gear, stuff like that. I would have a whole different kind of thing going on here, but it's, first of all, they're pricey, and then secondly, it's hard to just get some stuff. But I have continually been adding things to it. I think I'm at a position now where I have a really good setup that I like for flying airliners. I have a really good setup for flying general aviation and VR. And I'm pretty happy with that. However, there
Now
is
you're gonna have to buy
constantly,
stuff to fly helicopters.
well, fortunately, I already have this joystick, and I have a different one that I could use. But this Airbus joystick actually works really well, and it kind of matches. This is an Airbus helicopter, so. Um, but there are constantly new um, planes coming on the market. In fact, I know we already talked about what we'll be playing next week, but the week after that, I already know what I'm going to be flying, which is the.
See the airport.
Yep.
Unless there's random ass blinking lights for no reason.
Nope. That's definitely the airport.
That's why they do that.
It will be the Twin Otter turboprop plane, and I'm probably going to take it to the Arctic.
That's cool.
So that should be really interesting, I think.
You just dropped me off.
In the Arctic? Yeah, we'll find a fishing
that
hut
would be
somewhere.
A little bit extreme for even me. Yeah, I'll go north, but
So it looks like there's some snow here. Just looking out, there are patches of snow on the ground. So they do actually have like
that
weather
is
transitions.
ridiculously accurate as to what it is where I am right now.
Yeah, so it seems reasonable that it might be like this.
Yeah, like
This
if
year.
it depends. Like in high traffic areas right now, like the roads don't have any snow on them, obviously.
Yeah.
So I have been welcomed. Let me keep count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9 welcome to the chat rooms for me.
Well, you can't say that the what is it? Is it Stream Elements doing that, or is it Twitch?
I don't know.
At least whatever it is, it's friendly.
It is friendly.
So there's the tower.
I'm
Let's
welcome from
just.
0 bands. I got a good ratio here.
Here's the airport. I don't know where we should land here. It's a pretty big airport.
Well, land wherever you want. You own the place. Land on the roof.
Just let's do a quick fly around. So there was definitely some GA aviation hangars behind us there. This is probably where like the airliner terminals are. Usually they're closer to the tower. Oh, there's a parking lot. Actually, there's not much in the way of airliner stuff going on here. We'll circle the tower here, and then we'll head over to that GA area, and we'll put her down there.
helicopters land wherever they want. I don't think that's true at all, but
Well, they have more choices, that is for sure.
yeah.
I do love this ground effect where the like dust is starting to be kicked up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Question is, can I turn it around? I want to put it in this open spot here. There are a bunch of Kodiaks down here, which is also another add-on plane I just purchased. And it's really good as well. Could fly that one of these days in like Papua New Guinea or something. Or maybe in Australia in the bush somewhere. That just seems like as good a place as any.
Well, if a van hits you.
Well, he's going to do that anyways. They don't care.
Whoa. What's going on here?
Well, you know, for some reason it likes to turn a lot. I'm trying to... Close, but not quite. This will work. All right. Let's open all the doors and stuff.
My favorite thing to do when is to get off of an airplane, because I'm just like, well, lived through it.
Mm-hmm.
Time to go home.
And I like to use
Yeah,
the drone camera too. Pretend we're right here on the ground.
That is pretty cool and pretty good timing.
Yeah, we're right on time, aren't we?
Yeah.
We can go and turn off the engines now.
Well, I think I'm going to bounce out of here and let you close up your
Sounds
stream.
sounds good. We will.
And I will see you long before next Thursday, but I will also see you next Thursday for some extraction.
Exactly. Thanks for hanging out.
No problem. Good flight. Thanks for not crashing.
You're welcome. It's always good when the pilot lets you survive any landing. All right, that will do it for the stream. Sorry for the delayed start, but we'll get things back up to higher textures, at least for me, for the next flight as well. Next week, as Rumpo mentioned, we'll be playing some Rainbow Six Extraction on this day, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Until then, be sure to check out all things Shacknews on the social media, shacknews.com, on Twitter, as well as on YouTube. Links and names for all that stuff are at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for sticking it out, MOBA. Have a good one. Thanks for everybody for watching. I'll catch you all next week. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.